Yo, what is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new Locals feature match. Here we are in round 2 for June 10th Locals, and we've got Scareclaw Adventure on the left. I always want to say Scareclaw Cashier, but Scareclaw Adventure on the left versus not Pearly. Don't let the mat fool you. It is branded, aka Gimmick Puppet Deck. And yeah, let's hop right in. So we are going to see the Gimmick Puppet deck win the die roll. They're going to go first. Try to get the spell that lets them Gimmick Puppet lock. It will get negated by Imperm. They'll set a card and pass turn. Looks like they have Cross Out, Nibiru, Enchantress, Droll, and Lockbird. And a couple other cards I can't see there. And yeah, you definitely don't want to let them, search the Gimmick Puppet card and then draw them on res, because then it's far too late. So we're going to see them activate Enchantress. That's going to grab right. Then they're going to activate Fateful, because they already drew it. Activate Right of Eremisier. Summon Token. Trigger Fateful effect to go ahead and grab the Equip spell. And then they'll probably use Fateful again to go ahead and search a monster and discard. And they're probably going to discard the Fateful, although they might hold it in hand for next turn. Looks like they will choose to discard it, and then they're going to activate Griffin Rider, special summon it in attack position, and they're going to go battle phase. Well, they're going to go battle phase, swing in, put them down to 50. Yeah, I was going to say, you don't bounce the Aliber back to hand. They're going to bounce the set card back to hand, set another card themselves, which I believe is Crossout Designator, and they're going to pass turn. And if the Gimmick Puppet deck successfully was kept off the card that lets them Gimmick Puppet, aka Branded Fusion, let's see what kind of follow-up they have here. Into one Omni Negate with one unknown set. Not much, unfortunately. It's going to be a set one monster, set a spell trap, pass turn. Scareclaw Adventure will start by Griffin Rider or Draco back, bouncing the set. And then using Fateful Adventure here to go ahead and search a monster and discard. They're going to grab Enchantress. Probably just trying to pile on some damage here in a simplified game state. And they're going to discard the Droll and Lockbird. Not super great in this matchup anyways. And I believe they have Ash Blossom in hand too. So if they do get to Branded Fusion, it's going to be game over. But they're going to sacrifice the Ash Blossom by just normal summoning it. And then synchroing into Baron de Fleur. Baron's going to go ahead and pop the set. It is a Mercurier. And then I believe they just have game on board since they are only at 5,800. Enchantress has got 15. Token has 2,000. Baron's got 3,000. So that is more than enough for game. Even through perhaps a Bestial. They're not in Nibiru range, I don't believe, because they have only special summon Enchantress, normal to Ash, and made Barons. Yeah, they're not in Nibiru range. They can negate a Bestial. They have Sarnier. They're going to chain Imperm, and then they're going to chain Crossout Designator, calling Imperm. So that Crossout kind of putting in some work here, stopping the Imperm on the Baron, which is actually what happened to me in one of my rounds when I played against the same player. Yeah, the game was mine to win, and I started with Imperm on Baron instead of Cosmic the set, and they ended up calling Imperm with the Crossout, and it actually mattered and won them the game, crazy enough. So we're going to see the Gimmick Puppet deck go first here in Game 2 again, starting with Fusion Deployment and Cartesia into Aliber, and that kind of plays around Imperm there, because they do end up trying to Imperm the Aliber. They can just chain Cartesia to dodge it, but they do have the Ash Blossom for the Gimmick Puppet spell. And they're just going to go ahead and use Cartesia now to go ahead and Fusion Summon into Grand Guignol. And activate Grand Guignol effect to go ahead and send an Albion from the extra deck. And then they're going to activate Triple Tactics Thrust, which is pretty insane. Card's pretty crazy. Custom card almost. And also reminder, check out Imperium Duelist down in the description below. Don't forget to use my discount code WinnerKills10 off at checkout to save 10% off your entire order. So we're going to see what they're going to grab off of Thrust here. There's a little bit of an interesting card in their hand. There's a normal trap card, I believe it's called Fusion Duplication. And I actually kind of like the idea of this card being in a deck like Branded. It says, you know what, if I can't Branded Fusion on my turn, I'll just try again on your turn. Seems pretty cool, actually, in theory. So we're going to see them, before they get to the end phase, activate Bestial Magnamut, targeting the Albion. That's going to cut them off a follow-up, and they'll also get the end phase search Magnamut. They know that there is a set Imperm there that they got off the Thrust. And looks like there might be a response here. Yeah, it looks like they're going to chain Grand Guignol. And that's going to bring out the Despian Lulu Waylith, which I think anytime something leaves the extra deck, it's just like an imperm, I believe. That's the too long didn't read version of it. Level 12 synchro looks pretty cool. One of the cooler looking synchros I've seen in a while. And they're gonna use another Bestial here, and probably gonna target the Cartesia. Yeah, so that won't get added back. And then they'll get their end phase search off of the Magnamut. See what they go ahead and grab here. They're gonna grab Baldrake, so they've got 2 bodies on field to start their turn. And they know there is a set Imperm, and basically another Imperm on field in the form of Lulu Wayleth. Offer a cut, and they'll go ahead and pass turn there. They have another Ash in hand too, which is hilarious, so they're just not going to be resolving Branded Fusion. I mean, Fusion Duplication still could technically let them Fusion, but then you wouldn't... I don't think you would be able to Ash that then, because it's just a card that's copying the effect of the spell. Also, something happens here that both players kind of missed, and that is that, yeah, they could not have tagged Grand Guignol out during that turn because of the Branded Fusion lock. Only can summon fusion monsters, so they could not have summoned the Lulu Wayleth. So they quickly correct that there. But it looks like he has Ash in hand. We know he still has the Baldrake. And it looks like he'll just go ahead and attempt the Baldrake here. That's going to target the Alibur. And I think that might be 2 Scareclaw monsters in hand. Yep, so that will resolve. And then, new chain, Lulu Wayleth will get summoned. And then he'll attempt to activate Baldrake's on field effect, sending off Magnamut, attempting to banish the Lulu Wayleth. And in response, he's going to chain the Fusion Duplication, which is going to banish Branded Fusion. And dump Albaz from the extra deck. Well, from the main deck, sorry. And I believe you could just end up fusing off here with the Lulu Wayleth as well. Go straight into Mirror Jade, and then you dodge the banished target from the Baldrake. I mean, it seems like a neat way to kind of like dodge, in a way dodge Ash, I guess, on Branded Fusion. Like, you just like set the trap and try to resolve it again next turn. They were thinking about sending Lubellion there from the main deck, but instead they will just fusion off with the Lulu Wayleth. And, yep, there's Mirror Jade. Successfully dodging the effect from Baldrake there. Tagging out into a Mirror Jade, so. Now have to still worry about Mirror Jade and 1 Imperm set that they know is set off of the thrust the previous turn. Now, at this point, not really too sure what plays are available. I don't know what's exactly in the extra deck for this Scareclaw deck, but it looks like they're going to normal summon Baloney, which does get them access to Lightheart, which does get them access to Field Spell, which does get them access to Reichert, which is definitely one of the better cards in the engine. So on summon, they are going to use the Mirror Jade to send Rinbrum to banish the Baloney, and then he's just going to go Battle Phase, Crash, Druisworm into Mirror Jade, Druisworm effect, sending the Mirror Jade, and then End Phase, Lulu Wayleth effect, that's going to get ashed, and then the End Phase effect of Mirror Jade has already been declared once the Druisworm sent it, so the Baldrake is going to get destroyed here in the End Phase. Once they finally do reach the End Phase, yeah, it looks like, yeah, no other End Phase effects there, so they'll just pass turn. And then they're going to have to pass turn again, which is super unfortunate. No way to any engine cards there. And I don't believe our Scareclaw player looks like they have any engine. I just see a Magnum and one other card, so they're just going to have to pass turn. And thankfully our branded player does finally see some engines, so they will activate Fusion Deployment, revealing Red Ice Dark Dragoon. That means they're going to get the special summon Dark Magician from the deck. As much as a meme that is, it's actually pretty decent here in a simplified game state. A free 2,500 beaters, so they'll swing in 425, dropping down to 5,000 past turn. And did our Scareclaw player finally draw any engine? We know they still have Imperm set, so like even a normal summon of any Scareclaw monster will only get them so far because the Link one is probably just going to get Imperm. So you need like just a little bit more engine than, you know, one normal summon here to really get something going. So they are just going to have to pass again, it looks like. And thankfully for our Scareclaw player, they do not see any more engines. So they're just going to attack for 25. Pass turn again after setting one more card. And it looks like they've already drawn the field spell here, the Reichphobia. And it looks like they have... It looks like 2 Scareclaw Cashiers in hand. That's what it looks like. I could be wrong, but they're going to normal summon, I think, the Astra or Acro. And go into Lightheart. See if the opponent will take the bait here into imperming the Lightheart, but instead they're going to use Rinbrum and banishing itself to special summon Albaz. Lightheart will resolve here, getting them field spell, which we know they already have one copy of that in hand, but the branded player does not know that. And we'll probably see Albaz resolving here. Yep, discarding a copy of Thrust to fusion into Mirror Jade. And then they're going to activate the field spell to go ahead and search for a Scareclaw or Visa's Starfrost. So they'll add the Scareclaw Reichert, which is normally a pretty good card to have here, but they need a Scareclaw body on field to be able to special summon it. Since they already normal summon, yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, so they're going to use the Scareclaw Cashier in hand first. Special summon itself, and then banish a Cashier or Scareclaw, so they're going to banish the Lightheart. And now they do have the option of special summon Reichert, so they will. They will not get the effect to draw, though, since there are not 3 or more monsters in defense position. I mean, I feel like this would be a valid imperm, but it looks like they are just going to admit defeat there. So yeah, they're very grindy game 2 there. We're into game 3, where we will see the Scareclaw Adventure deck go first. It was pretty much just Adventure Engine beatdown game 1, then nothing until Scareclaw Engine game 2, and hopefully they've probably opened up a combination of those 2 engines here in game 3, and that's ideally what the deck is supposed to do. Probably end on Griffin with the Tri-Heart, and lots of advantage in hand. It looks like they've opened up Fenrir, Crossout Designator, Reichert, and Field Spell. And Fateful Adventure as well. So pretty solid opening. So going to activate Fateful, special summon out the Fenrir, and that is going to trigger the effect of the Fateful Adventure, and they're going to hit with Droll on Resolution. They do have the Crossout for that, so Crossout Designator is going to go ahead and declare Droll and Lockbird. Now they can add cards from the deck to their hand for the rest of the turn. Otherwise, that Droll and Lockbird would have gone in there. That's one thing that Droll... I mean, Droll is just a good card in general this format, but just going against decks that play Adventure Engines, which are pretty few and far between right now, that card just does so much more in those matchups. Because not only do you just cut off from the rest of the Adventure cards, but the entire rest of your engine. So that Crossout Designator was definitely clutch there. Normal summon out the Reichart, link into the Lightheart, and we'll see if they use Lightheart effects. I think they already have Field Spell in hand, but another copy can't hurt. Literally cannot hurt, so they're going to go add the Primitive Planet Reichphobia, activate Reichphobia. That's going to get hit with Ash Blossom. Says, you know what, that's probably fine. And now they're going to use Fenrir effect to go ahead and grab Scareclaw Cashier, which is another amazing interaction. Like, Fenrir is just such an insane card, man. Like, not only is it just a great, like, in Kashtira, but, like, in the Tearlament deck, it's grabbing Tear Cash. In the Scareclaw deck, it's grabbing Scareclaw Kashtira. It's just such an incredible card in so many different decks. So they're going to use Fateful there. Add a monster. It's going to be the Enchantress. Discard Enchantress effect in the graveyard. That's going to go ahead and banish itself to add right. And I don't think they used... Yeah, they didn't use the normal summon effect of Reichart there, so they can use Rite of Aramis here to summon Token. It's unfortunate they don't have access to Griffin Rider here, though. So they summon a Scareclaw Cashier by banishing Reichart, linking off Token, Lightheart, and Scareclaw into Tri-Heart. And then Tri-Heart effect. Oh, not going into Tri-Heart. At least, okay, they're leaving the Token. They're still going to go into Tri-Heart. They're just linking off with everything but the Token. Which I wonder why necessarily they did that. And then they're just going to go ahead and pass turn. So ending on just Tri-Heart, which I mean is pretty good. But I mean, I'm trying to think necessarily how does the branded deck out it. Because it turns everything the opponent has to defense position, and then it's unaffected by the activated effects of defense position monsters. So I guess, like, I know Mirror Jade's end phase effect can beat Psychic again Punishers, so in the same aspect, I believe it could beat the Tryhard as well. But how you get Mirror Jade off the field via an opponent's card in this situation is going to be easier said than done. So the Aliber will resolve. That's going to grab Branded Fusion. Branded Fusion effect resolving. That's going to go ahead and send the Albaz and an Adlib. That's going to fusion for Lubellion. And they're activate Lubellion, discarding the Cartesia. And they're going to shuffle back Albaz and Lubellion and go for Mirror Jade in the extra monster zone. So this is this is quite the situation to be in. I mean, if the deck played Link Monsters, it'd be very easy to out the Tryhard, but they do not play Link Monsters in the branded deck. At least not that I know of. So they're going to activate Nadir Servant. That's going to dump Entis. Okay, I mean, I guess that is an out. Wow. Yeah, I've definitely seen builds of a branded play Nadir Servant before, but yeah, that's pretty good right there. Dumping the Entis and popping the Tryhard. And they're going to use Mirror Jade to dump Albion. That is going to go ahead and banish Token. And that, honestly, that Nadir Servant might have just won them the game. I know Nadir Servant has a restriction. Yeah, also for the rest of this turn after this card resolves. Yeah, so they can summon from the extra deck prior to activating it, but not afterwards. So then end phase, they can get Brandon Red. And they have Adlib Engrave, which is a huge follow-up. As they draw Ash Return a turn too late there. They're going to start with the Fateful Adventure to go ahead and search a monster. And looks like they're going to go ahead and grab Enchantress. Discard Enchantress, activate Enchantress effect to go ahead and grab Token. And I mean, this can at least get them to Draco back, which forces out something, I guess. But they do have, like, with the Brandon Red gets them so much here. He gets them into Guardian Chimera, and then the Adlib just brings back the Mirror Jade. So they're going to, like, pop one, banish one, draw two. A lot of advantage there. So they will use right, summon Token. And they could also get the Scareclaw field spell effect here to pop since there are 3 or more monsters in the field in defense position. So they're just going to go ahead and fire off the Brandon Red on the summon of the Token using Mirror Jade, Adlib, and I feel like you just have to go for the Albert. You have to go for a Guardian Chimera most likely. Or, oh, they have the Cartesia in hand. That's right. So yeah, they're gonna leave the Aliber on field, and then Adlib, Guardian Chimera, pop 1, draw 2, and that is just gonna be the game as they admit defeat there. I mean, that's a pretty big power play to try to overcome with very little cards there. So we're gonna see the branded deck win versus the Scareclaw deck. Last but not least, a big shout out goes to our current Divine Level channel members who are Misfit 88, Cyber Cadillacs 84, Pony Stark, and Green. Thank you guys so much as always for your very kind and very generous support of the channel.